Hello YouTube, today at powerjackrepair.org we got a MSI SWORD 15, same as MSI gl66, same as MSI BRAVO 15, same as MSI Katana's gf66, same as MSI Crosshair 15, A11, UEK or 11UE or B5DD or 11UGK. Basically, ms-1581 is the connector that's being used on this laptop. This is the connector right here. And you can see it's being burned, and you can see the connector is being pushed through. So if you push it back, it's gonna realign, but it's burnt inside, and it's here. Let me show you on a different. Let me show you on a different one. All right. So, anyways, the connector is ruined. Here, let me show you the brand new connector. This is a brand new connector. This is how it's supposed to look like. All right, like that. This is the burned connector, and this is the new connector. Back when I started this business back in like 2001, 2002, there was a company named Sony, and it was making great laptops that last forever. Now the goal is for you to buy a new laptop every single year, because we can put a connector that's not supposed to handle so much voltage and amperage going through the motherboard, I mean through the connector, and they can break every single year. So this system, in my understanding, will be here every single year, simply because this connector is not made to handle it, handle this kind of voltage and amperage. Now, the situation here is that if you're sending one of those models this way, send me an email saying you sending this laptop make and model, and refer to this video because there's 1,000+ videos on this channel. So refer to this video saying that I should pre-order this connector, because this connector is like $25 and I don't wanna order 100 of those to be here. So, or maybe they became cheaper for me already and I ordered a whole bunch of them, and you can buy them at the link below. But for right now, to me, they run at like $20-something, 25-ish, maybe plus tax. So like maybe $30 or so. And you see right there, it even melts the casing. So I can't really do much about the casing here. Let's see how straight. See, it's all nicely melted. The plastic on the casing is melted. All right. So I think I'm gonna straighten out the casing a bit with the knife, and see what we can do after that. Just give me 1 second. Okay. Let's see if we can do like that. Like that. Super. Excellent. All right. I want to do much straighter hole here. All right. So that the new connector would be sitting in place just fine. Okay, good job. And good job. All right, I need to get that plastic out of there right now, so it wouldn't be sitting inside. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. All right, so now that I made that nice and smooth, let's see if the new connector gonna fit in here just fine. Mold melting. I mean, this is here all the time, so yeah, perfect. Looks good to me. And another problem is the client sent me, for this laptop, they sent me this power supply right here. You see? This tip of the power supply is in no way gonna work with this connector. So what they did was they bought the wrong power supply, because the original power supply melted to the jack, so they decided that it's just the tip. So they ended up buying the, let me here. Yeah, also, this is the power supply they got, Donggerdi 9.23 amps, which is about 200 wattage, 180 watts. Right there it says, by the way, 180 watts, which is probably proper wattage output for this laptop, but the tip is not the right tip. I haven't talked to the client about this yet, but this is not the tip for this particular connector, all right? There is no pin inside of that tip. The proper tip is, give me 1 second. All right, so this is the tip right here. So compare the two tips. The tip right here doesn't have a pin inside and wide and big. And this tip right here has a pin inside. And it's gonna go into the new connector just fine. You see? It goes in just fine. Now, if you're gonna try to put this tip inside of this guy, it's gonna do exactly the same thing as it did here. It's gonna push this whole piece into the back. You see? Pushes the whole thing out of the bracket right there. So right there like that. So when you're buying a power supply for this laptop, there's only like a few of those that are proper power supplies out there. And again, this is not it. So again, I'm not sure how to tell to the client that they got the wrong power supply, because they're probably going to be saying that I installed the incorrect connector or something. But this is connector. You see, it's exactly the same connector, exactly the same everything, same marking, same connector. But the clients do have tendencies to be so-called right, always right. Okay, so what I want to do here, I want to connect the input first. Hopefully it's the right plug. Yep, it's connected here. We're gonna guide the wires underneath this board like that, and like that, and then we're gonna secure this whole thing with the screw. And I took the laptop apart downstairs, not at the YouTube studio, and now I have to assemble it here upstairs. All right, so here, beautiful, perfect fitment. Now, so what I want to say is, when you take the laptop apart, make sure you unscrew the battery first, and then you pull out this cable. Otherwise, you're gonna damage something here, you're gonna scratch something off. We will pull out the cable and this connector here. It's kind of tough to remove this connector from the motherboard if this is not unscrewed properly first. Next thing is, when I took this particular laptop apart, there was no thermal paste on this crystal right here. So this crystal had thermal paste, but this crystal didn't. So when you put the and you can see right there, there is the I would say inflammation, so to speak. This is basically where it was overheating here and right there. You see this raising up in delamination? You probably can't. Let me do another camera here. Oh, you can see my face. All right, so you see this delamination right here and right there. This happens because of poor cooling. And the reason it was poor cooling, because the heatsink supposed to be you see how the heatsink is not made properly? It only covers this crystal, but it doesn't cover this crystal. So you want to put a lot more thermal paste right here, so that the area right here would get in touch with this guy. And this crystal, the NVIDIA chip, is looking good. So another thing is, you see those putty? This putty has to be properly positioned. So if, for example, you remove this putty right here and it fell off, put it first onto the motherboard and then attach this whole thing. Because if the putty is in the wrong place, the whole structure of the thermal sink not going to be sitting properly, and it's not going to be cooling every single component properly. All of those has to be cooled right here because they burn out all the time. All of those guys has to be cooled. So this pad, you see, the original pad doesn't cover the whole component, but at least it covers it partially, all right? So that's a good thing. So whoever was assembling it didn't do an amazing job, but at least they did a job. So here is the example what I was talking about. You see how this pad came apart partially here, partially right there. So when something like that happens, what you have to do it, all right? There's no way around it. You need to take the pad from this guy right here, carefully lift it, all right? You have to do it. The reason you have to do it, and you have to apply it to this pad right here, all right? Oops, the wrong way. All right, wrong way. So you see this pad was not installed properly to begin with. So anyways, let me redo this thing here. All right, so the goal is to put this pad more to cover this guy here, okay? And now we're gonna be able to adjust like that, like that, and like that, okay, okay, okay. You see, so what I did was I correctly placed the pad so that the whole component here would be insulated and that component would be insulated. Now, the reason I told you to take this guy off, because those ripped pads, they're not gonna align properly when you're gonna be putting this thing directly onto the motherboard, right? So the same goes for this particular pad because it got ripped. What you wanna do is you wanna flip this guy over and apply it yourself so that the edges would look similar, so that there won't be any bumps in the heatsink itself. So like that. All right, you see, beautiful. Otherwise, the heatsink gonna be lifted up a little bit and something not gonna be cooling something properly, right? Now this pad right there is gonna be applying fine. This pad right here, we can just connect it here. Not the smartest move, but it's okay. Come on, stay there. Good job. Okay, so that's that. There are two. All right. Let us see if they align properly. It's aligned properly. All right, all right. The pads are sitting properly. The pads have to touch both components, the heatsink. And when you take this guy off, try not to bend the heatsink because it's not gonna align properly after you put it back together. And here it seems like this area is slightly bent out, I think. Maybe not, but all right. So what I did was I did everything wrong. I forgot to put the thermal paste in because I was talking too much. So, and you see, that's what I was talking about right here. When you get something like that, you have to place it first onto the components. Like when you take when you lift up the heatsink. Same as here, we're gonna place it here. Good job. All right, so now we're gonna put some thermal paste, and here's where we're gonna put more paste, right, and a little bit less paste here. Good job. Good job. Let's see. Excellent. All right, I have to put a lot more thermal paste right there on this end so that it's gonna be like wrapping around this thermal. So those are relatively clean. Okay, good job. Good job. Here we connect the fan here. And here we connect the fan right there. Good job. Excellent. Here we got this guy going in like that. Very complicated design for some reason, for some unknown reason. All right, good job. Okay. So I didn't tighten anything yet. I'm just like putting the screws in to make sure that all the screws are gonna be in place. Good job. Don't over tighten the screws if possible. Okay. So we got much longer screws going on. Those are the shorter screws right there. Longer screws usually go in right here. I hope this is not a through screw. No, it's not a through screw. Okay. Here. Here. Right there. And right there. Excellent. Good job. Beautiful. All right. And now what I was talking about is we need to connect the battery first, because otherwise you're not going to be able to connect it properly, like that. And put the okay. You know what, this is probably not the right hole to put it in, because you need to compare it with the holes that are on the top of the casing. I know I have a magnet here someplace. Okay. And this one probably not the right hole. All right, so my guess is this guy here and here. Yeah, those are too fat, so the fat screws are coming from the top. Okay, good job, good job. Let's see. This one is the one from the top. Yeah, that's the one from the top. Okay, all right, looks good. So we're gonna assemble it back. screw is kind of big and fat. Let's see if it's gonna be. Let's see the melting on the top side of the casing. Is it gonna prohibit us from? Yeah, okay, so the melt up on the top part of the casing not gonna let us plug in the plug into the connector. So I need to take it apart. All right, let me, because it's melted. Let's cut the. You see how burn mark is right there. So we need to align. All right, that's good. It's cracked a bit here. All right, so let's try and put this guy first in there. Okay, good job. The small screw probably goes right here. Okay. And I need to charge up this screwdriver. The same guy I had for about 20 years now. Good job. Aligned. 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 Beautiful. All right, so I will test the system, but I have no power supply for this laptop. Maybe something I'm gonna just make up. Maybe I'm gonna make an adapter from this to this, like maybe something like that. Just to cut this guy off, maybe right here, and put a connector here, which is compatible with this guy, so that. But this is not rated for 200 watts, so it might go out in no time. So hard to say. Just hold on, I will get something figured out and you'll see if this is gonna work. I found a Dell power supply. Hopefully the Dell power supply, it's not as powerful, it's just a 6.7 amps multiplied by 20. It's gonna be like what? I would say 120 watts, 130 watts, 135. Let's see. Let's measure to make sure the current is going through the motherboard, through the power supply. Nope, nothing. Ah, hold on 1 second. I'm not sure if I connected the right power supply. Let's see. All right, so that's the right power supply. And For some reason I got no power. Let's take a look. No, we do get power. Do we? Yeah, we do get power. Let's see if we are gonna be able to get some power here. Okay. All right, so we got something here on the keyboard. And the goal is to charge it up a bit. Once it charges up a bit, it's gonna, oh, and we got this already. I didn't press the power button or anything, so we got something on the screen. So the connector works fine. Now my only concern is that I need to do some sort of adapter for that adapter that they sent to us, or this guy. Because again, this is, the wattage is proper, but the tip is not proper. So I need to figure something out. Maybe I'm gonna chop this guy off again and solder a 2.5 inch. This is 2.5 by 5.5 connector here, but this one I don't even remember the sizing, 4.76 or something on the outside. The diameter is 4.746. Anyways, thanks so much for watching. Please leave a like, subscribe, and you guys take care and have a good day. The laptop is still powering up. Maybe it's gonna log in and show me that it charges, but it keeps cycling right now. I'm not sure if there is a light someplace that shows that the battery is charging. Maybe this is the light. Maybe that's the light for just, oh, maybe the light is right here. The white light. Maybe that white light indicates, you know what, hold on a second, let me bring another camera. Hold on. Right there, you see the white light? That probably means it's charging, maybe. Maybe not, go figure. All right. Okay. But I know the laptop is working, so I can pretty much connect this guy. Maybe there is no SSD drive inside. I didn't see the SSD, I need to check the video. Maybe that's the reason why it cycles so much. Or maybe it's not enough juice to run it. Because 120 watts versus 200 watts is a big deal. Again, I was hoping for something on for the image, but maybe there is no hard drive inside. I'm not sure. All right. Again, right there. MSI. All right, guys. Thanks so much. And you guys take care and have a good day. Bye.